What is going on, Raptors Nation? It is Luca here, back with another video. Hope you're all doing well. Wanted to come at you all with a quick video. We got a recent Darko Rajakovic interview that was done in Serbian. I used my good friend Google Translator to get some of the interesting answers that came from this interview that I wanted to relay to all of you. So we're going to look at what Rajakovic said, talking about the Raptors rebuild and the Raptors' future plans. Before we dive right into it, do me a solid, guys. Hit a like on the video and subscribe to the channel for more Raptors content just like this. The NBA draft is fast approaching as we're in the midst of the NBA Finals. Once the finals wrap up, it's officially on to the next season for all NBA teams, including the Toronto Raptors, who are in the midst of their rebuild. Obviously, the Raptors making things clear after trading away both OG Anunoby and Pascal Siakam that it's all about building around Scottie Barnes moving forward. And obviously, it's going to be a process. Things are going to take time before the Raptors return to contention. However, now is still a crucial period for this franchise because they still want to look to put the right building blocks in place in hopes of building something special and, returning back to relevancy. So Raptors head coach Darko Rajakovic, he recently had an interview with Mozart Sport in Serbian, and he talked about Toronto's outlook. So I wanted to take a look at some of Rajakovic's responses, one of which Rajakovic weighed in on the Raptors rebuild and how the process will be. And this is what Rajakovic said, and I quote, "Now we have a lot of things to do in terms of the NBA draft, free agency, signing players, and building a team. As everyone knows, building a team in the NBA is not like that easy job. You can't just go to the market and buy players, but there is a process that must be followed. How to improve the team through the draft, but also signing a small number of players who are on the market during the season. But before us is a process that will certainly last several years." Then Rajakovic was asked about the franchise's main goal and when he sees the Raptors competing at a high level again. And I quote, "The point of the whole story is that the team is built around Scottie Barnes. This season, he also made it to the All-Star selection. We are building the future and the backbone of the team around him, that the boys from 22 to 24 years old to do the same. And now we are slowly rising with them in order to fight with the best opponents and be candidates for the playoffs and the title. This is a process we entered aware that nothing can be changed overnight. We don't want the process to drag on for 5 or 6 years. We want to be a competitive team again in 2 or 3 years." So some very interesting stuff right there. And then Rajakovic talked about the upcoming NBA draft, and I found it interesting because basically saying there's not a big difference in this year's draft of those who are taken in the top 5, 6, 7 compared to those who will be available from 15 to 20. Obviously, the Raptors have number 19, and they can still end up getting a good role player with that number 19 pick. So this is what Rajakovic said about the draft. "You see, this draft is considered one of the weaker ones in the last 10 years. The next 2 drafts are extremely high quality with a lot of good players who can contribute a lot and change the franchise. I'm not saying that there are no good players in this draft, but I would say that there are not big differences between those who are in the top 5, 6, 7 and those you can draft in the 15th or 20th place. The draft is quite even, and the players with similar quality are the positive thing is that we have preserved our position. Yes, our pick went to Spurs, but that's why we will have our pick next season. Everything is relative how you look at these things." So it's very interesting how Rajakovic did talk about, that they do have their pick for next season. And he is looking ahead to the next couple of drafts, which the Raptors could be major players in, just given where they rank in the grand scheme of things of the next 2 drafts being, filled with high quality players. So I found that interesting as well. And then Rajakovic went on to say about the draft, "We have the 19th and 31st pick in this year's draft, which are automatically 2 rookies who can join the team immediately. It is not easy to develop 3 or 4 rookies in the same season. Everything is relative. We are satisfied with our 2 picks that we kept. We have a good plan with them. This is all a process. Nothing happens overnight. And this is not something that can suddenly put our franchise in the role of a title contender. It will take a lot of work in the coming years, patience, and wisdom to bring the franchise to where it belongs. As the only team from Canada and outside of the US, there is tremendous public interest here and a desire to get this team back on track. I believe that we will succeed only if some pieces fall into place, and we will be in an excellent position. So I thought some of these responses were very interesting. These were my main takeaways from the interview. Rajakovic obviously talking about the future of the Raptors, and he's making it clear it's not going to be an overnight success. It is going to take some time, laying out a timeline of when he believes this Raptors team will be back. And then I thought it was interesting how he did weigh in on the draft, that the Raptors can still end up getting some talent at 19, even at 31. And then the next two drafts in particular are going to be filled with a lot of quality talent. And again, the Raptors could be, some key players in those drafts, given how things are going to be, projected for this team. So yeah, guys, Rajakovic, he's obviously going to be at the forefront of this all, player development coach. It's going to be a big season for him, I think. Obviously, there's not going to be huge expectations where, the team's going to expect him to get into the playoffs or win a title, but you're going to want to see some incremental strides being taken forward. And I think that's the key with Rajakovic's job here. You want to see guys get better. You want to see the team have, changes and improve, and you want to see things start to come together nicely. Obviously, again, it's going to take time, but, you can still have a nice recipe brewing that you can look at it and say, okay, this team can actually be something in a few years from now. So yeah, guys, just wanted to drop a quick video looking at Rajakovic's interview. If you were able to take a look at the interview, what were some of your key takeaways? Let me know your thoughts, guys. Hit a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new. That is it for me. It's Lucas signing off. Thanks so much for watching. Hit a like and subscribe on your way out. I will catch you all again in the next one.